Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I know I've been gone for a while, but today we're doing. It's weird. It's kind of like a versus video, right? But it's kind of not. Like this. This will probably be used for versus videos involving Ruby and other Silver-Eyed warriors to come. But like, it's not technically like its own verse. Like we're not having Ruby like fight Gone or someone like that, right? Like it's nothing like that. It's just the Silver Eyes. How do they work? What do they work on? Well, simply put, Silver Eyes, as you can guess, in order to use that ability, you need to have Silver Eyes. We're really pushing the envelope today. But anyway, so essentially, it's a bloodline of people that they were given their powers from the God of Light. We really don't know how that went about, but from what it seems like he gave them those eyes in order to counteract the Grim, and as a byproduct, they also counteract magic. So yeah, let's get into, I guess, just how they kind of work. So I guess it's easiest to start off on like what they do work with, and as I said before, magic and Grim. But I feel like Grim are kind of magic, you know?
Yeah, they're probably magic. I wouldn't be surprised if they were.
Yeah, like the Grim seem to be like what, the god of darkness, or
Some creation from the God of Darkness.
Yeah. So, and he probably used magic to use them, you know. So I think it's just kind of magic.
It's either like anti-magic or it's like anti-darkness itself.
Yeah, because it also does some weird things. Like for example, the apathy. They kind of like drain your emotions and your willpower. And when Ruby used her silver eyes, okay, it's weird because it seems like because of the silver eyes, she had kind of like not an immunity, but she was more resistant to it.
They have like some kind of resistance to it. So maybe it's probably more anti-magic than this.
Yeah, so it's like a resistance. So it comes built in with a resistance to magic, probably too. Also, considering Maria was also pretty resistant to the Silver Eyes, it might just be like if you are part of that bloodline, that means you're stronger of will or something, or not stronger, but like kind of like that, right? Now, from what it also seems like it doesn't really affect the soul because it doesn't affect aura, and aura is noted multiple times to be like the soul taking shape, a force field made out of the soul, all that kind of stuff, right? Or at least soul-like, like spiritual-like. So, for example, it probably wouldn't work on hockey, from, let's say, like One Piece. Like, it probably wouldn't work on that. But it would probably work on more alien things, such as, say, a devil fruit. So most likely Ruby's eyes would probably work against like devil fruits like Logia's, and also things like chakra. Because, well, I had this discussion a long time ago in why does Team Ruby pass the tuning exams, because, spoilers for Naruto, but chakra comes from Kaguya, or at least the chakra that humans on Earth have. She gave them that chakra, and she's an alien. So she's not of the world. Now, nature energy, Ruby probably wouldn't be able to mess with, because that's the same as aura.
Yeah,
but,
so I don't think the Silver Eyes have ever really disrupted aura.
Yeah, I don't think they've ever hurt aura. But then again, they do also bypass aura. From what it seems, because think about it, right? Cinder got hit by the Silver Eyes, but Cinder had her aura up, right? And the Silver Eyes traveled through her aura to attack her directly, because it left like permanent damage on her body.
So it's probably because Salem giving her powers and everything probably made her slightly magic, and that's probably why it bypassed the aura.
See, I don't know. It's
we
weird.
Don't know. We don't have a volume 10, so we have no idea.
Yeah, this would really help out if we had a volume 10. No other reason for us to want a volume 10, actually. None.
It would just make these videos much easier to make.
Yeah. But I think it would probably work on things like Naruto Chakra it would probably work on devil fruits.
Or
And
at least some devil fruits.
yeah.
Maybe not all of them, but some of them.
See, I don't know, because, like, devil fruits are very foreign to the world of One Piece. That's kind of their shtick. So it's, you know, I don't know. It's very odd. Now, we do also know that it didn't really work on the Hound. So, well, okay, it worked on the Hound, but it only worked on the Hound's grim parts, right?
Yeah.
So it seems that, like, it's
attack specifically.
Yeah, like it's not like, oh, you're connected to this thing. It will destroy you because you have connections to this thing. No, it's kind of like it will only destroy that thing. You know, similar to, well, it's different from Asta's, Asta's anti-magic.
Yeah, I have a feeling it worked probably a very similar way.
It probably works very similar, but Asta's anti-magic also, like, does damage, if I'm remembering right, to the opponent. Whereas I think Rwby Silver Eyes kind of just gets rid of the magic. It's just with someone like Cinder, the maiden powers became part of her body. So of course it damaged her body, right? Because her magic part of her body, right? So I don't know. Now, for, like, other stuff, it does kind of bring into the question of, like, it might also be anti-magic, but is it also just, like, kind of anti-alien? Like, I know that sounds a little weird, but, like, at the same time, the dark god brother, they did not come from Remnant. They formed Remnant. It was their own experiment, right? And it doesn't work on actual, like, people of Remnant, who I'm pretty sure. Okay, so the original people, they were made by the Brothers of Light and Darkness, right? But then they all got wiped out by the gods.
Yep.
So then,
because Salem did Salem things.
Yeah, Salem pulled a Salem, and then humanity seemingly almost re-evolved back onto the planet. So it's kind of like, maybe if it's something almost extraterrestrial, it would probably, like, for example, think something like the aliens in the JJK sequel, or, as I mentioned, Kaguya prior. Would they work on Goku?
Would they work on Goku?
Well, look,
it just turns off his ki.
Look, well, no, because ki is spiritual, but the seeming, well, they would obviously work in the Dragon Ball Magic-verse, because Dragon Ball has its own, like, magic system and all that. But, like, I don't know if it would work on alien life forms or not. Because at the same time, are Grimm not classified as kind of almost alien life forms? Because
like, they kind of are.
They were created by an alien, and the people of Remnant are different from the old people of Remnant. As example, the new people don't have magic, which is what the Silver Eyes affect. And the old people have so Rwby Silver Eyes would be able to work on the older, that ancient, set of people, the people from Salem's time, right? So I don't know. And then there's other stuff, like, do you think they would work on, like, cursed energy from JJK, or no? Or is that spiritual?
Imagine she just pops. The Silver Eyes just activates, so it just, like, evaporates.
Nah, because we all know Sukuna would use his anti-Silver Eyes technique he's been saving since the Heian era.
I mean, it probably would.
Yeah,
and however, I think it would turn off Mahito's ability.
You think so? Okay.
Because that or would just stop Mahito's ability.
Yeah.
Or he would start being able to manipulate it.
Yeah.
Oh god, Mahito would be able to manipulate Aura.
And then
because he manipulates the soul. The Aura is kind of like the soul.
Kind of the soul, yeah. And then there is the things made up of pure I guess, energy. So, like, the spirit beasts, right? Like, Megumin summons, aren't they just raw spiritual energy?
Yeah. So I imagine Silver Eyes would probably be able to shut those down.
Yeah, because they're also very foreign to... Once again, it's very foreign to the planet. And then other stuff... it probably wouldn't work on Nen, because Nen probably acts very similar to Aura. Ooh, things that are completely made up of energy, like, for example, the Edo Tensei from Naruto again, they would probably get erased. Unless, obviously, they just overpower the Silver Eyes, which people can do, but that also seems to be like a scale thing, right? Because, what was it? The Leviathan, the Big Grim at the end of 6, that one was able to tank the Silver Eyes, right? And survive it. Because it, like, its outward skin got turned to stone, but then it just broke out of it. But then someone like Cinder was completely crippled by it. And I would argue that Cinder is stronger than that Big Grim, right?
Yep.
So I feel like it's more... It's more based on size rather than actual power. Because I don't know if... I don't know, it's weird. It seems like the Silver Eyes don't get overpowered. They just don't work because either, you know, because, oh, you have organic tissues that, you know, act as a shield, or you're just so large that you just exist, right? And then there's the weird thing where, like, it can only really be triggered if there's Grim around. So would it recognize other things as Grim adjacent? Like curses, again, in JJK. Would Ruby's Silver Eyes recognize those as, like, Grim enough to use the silver, right?
Probably.
I feel like they would, yeah. So, I don't know. To be fair, though, it does also change based on emotions. So, the question is, if she tried to use the Silver Eyes on someone she liked, would it work, too? Like, I don't know, if Sukuna was, like, pretending to be very nice, would the Silver Eyes work?
I don't think Sukuna could pretend.
That's true. Who's a character that would, like, pretend to be nice? Would they work on Gias? I know this is kind of stupid, but would they work on Gias?
I imagine they would just cancel each other out.
You think they would like,
it just stalemates?
But what if... Okay, so... Because Gios is a power given to Lelouch by the gods, right?
No.
And Grim are made by the gods of that. So it should theoretically counter one another, right?
Yeah.
But would that just... If Lelouch put someone else under Gios and Ruby used her Silver Eyes on that person, would it end the Gios, or would it, like, destroy their brain? Because it destroys the part that's affected.
That depends on how the Gios exactly works, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. It's very difficult. I'm gonna be real. Now,
why is there so many Gioses?
Trying to find out which. Well, I want to
know exactly what they do.
Yeah, well, I'm talking specifically about Lelouch's.
So we're talking specifically. Okay.
Yeah, that one, I think it rewrites your brain.
Yeah, it rewrites the minds of the target.
Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, then I never thought about. So if the Silver Eyes would work on chakra. And that would also mean that Ruby and other Silver-Eyed warriors should have a theoretical resistance, a natural resistance to Genjutsu, right? Because if chakra is alien and foreign, much like the Grim and their abilities, so is Genjutsu. I also know it's weird saying, like, chakra is alien, but nature chakra, that came from the earth. Bro, but like Kaguya
Imagine
gave
I
humanity
imagine
yeah,
nature Chakra would just like nothing would change.
yeah, yeah. So I don't know. At the end of the day, Ruby Solo is your favorite verse, BT Dubs.
Yeah, imagine the Silver Eyes would kind of work like a Geass canceller that some people have.
Yeah. So overall, she's what? She has resistance to Genjutsu, anti-magic, anti-fun. Oh, would they work on quirks? I guess we haven't talked about that yet. Because quirks are theorized to be a virus, right? They're theorized that they were like a virus that got spread primarily through, I think it was rodents. So, like, how would that affect? You know, I don't know.
Clue. Imagine Ruby versus Shigaraki. She pops her Silver Eyes and he just loses his decay.
He just gets erased. Just gets erased because he has so many quirks. So it like stacks. Because they even said
stacks the debuff.
Yeah. Well, they even said that the reason Cinder got so much more hurt by the Silver Eyes is because of the Grim that embedded itself into her so she could get the Maiden Powers and the Maiden Powers, right? So,
yeah.
If we said that it worked on quirks, which I feel like that one's a little weird because quirks shouldn't technically be foreign to at least that planet, right?
So it probably wouldn't do anything.
Yeah. And then All For One would try to steal it and fail because I don't know.
All For One would steal it, the Silver Eyes would just like kill him.
Man.
I mean, I don't think I'm exactly wrong with this situation.
Would it work on the... Would it work... Would she be immune to the Death Note, actually, now that I think about it? Or at least have a resistance to the Death Note? Because once again, the Death Note, I'm pretty sure, is supernatural and magic. Because the thing is...
because aren't they given to people by Death Gods?
By Death Gods, yeah.
So yeah, no, it would be foreign and magic, so yeah, she'd probably have resistance.
Yeah. Because that's the thing, like, you basically...
I can now only imagine, like, writing her name into the Death Note, and she just, like, lives.
Nah, watch, the reason she actually...
He would start tweeting.
Nah, the reason he actually survives it, or the reason Ruby actually survives the Death Note, is because he keeps writing the name wrong. He keeps writing RWBY instead of... Because he thinks she's named that the exact same name as the show. But no, yeah,
because her name right, and it just wouldn't work, and he'd start tweeting.
Yeah, but I think the easiest way to like notify it or like classify it is saying, oh, if it's extremely
anti-supernatural.
Yeah, if it's extremely foreign to the planet, then it's probably not going, or it's probably going to get hit with the Silver Eyes, right?
Yeah.
Because think, like, okay, it doesn't work on semblances because semblances are naturally part of that world, right? Now, that does also mean for, like, certain things. Like, we never saw Ruby use the Silver Eyes on... Who was it? The Green Lantern ring, which is a foreign weapon, or Superman. Although, in the world of DC, they do have magic, so that could also be one of the things where basically it's anti-magic, but if there's no magic in that world, then it's just kind of anti-supernatural, right? Like, it gets weird. So, yeah. So what? Resistance to the Death Note, Geass, Chakra, Genjutsu, Cursed Energy. Wow, we're stacking up stuff. I don't know. Me and you have gone back on whether or not we think she would do damage to Devil Fruits. I'm not gonna lie. I really think she's packing up a Logia.
Yeah, she'd probably disable the Logia.
If she has, like, if you can overpower it, which I don't. Once again, we don't know what the limits are to it, right? Like, if you're if you can overpower the Silver Eyes by being 2 times stronger than Rwby, then yeah, no duh, Akainu's gonna be able to resist the Silver Eyes. Like, that's not a crazy...
However, I think it would be really funny if he could.
It would be really funny if he just, like, attacked Rwby and Rwby just, like, turned him into stone. That would be hilarious.
He just, like, attacks Rwby and his lava punch just, like, doesn't work.
Yeah, because it's just, like, yeah. So, yeah,
I think for the sake of funny, we just say Akainu is cooked.
Yeah, well, honestly, I think Logias are gonna be screwed over the most. Because, once again, it's that innate change to your body, and it's a foreign change to your body. So, you know, and, like, okay, you could argue that since they're turning into, like, stagnant materials, like Akainu's turning into lava, or Ace is turning into fire, or Aokiji's turning into ice, at the same time, you could argue that, like, okay, there are elemental aspects of Grim, and the Silver Eye should just work on all the Grim regardless, and should, you know, because once again, it's an unnatural extension of the world, right? So, and also they would probably work on Luffy. Actually, they would probably have the biggest, if they're going to work on anyone in One Piece, they're probably going to work on Luffy the most, I would say. Yeah. Well, okay, I'm saying that as, like, Luffy obviously would probably be able to do some Toon Force shenanigans, but,
Luffy
like...
would do some shenanigans, like, remove her Silver Eyes somehow.
Somehow, yeah. He'd, I don't know, like, open a door.
He'd, like, stomp his foot on a Tuesday, and it would just, like, rumble for some
reason. The way he would beat her is he would have a door, the door would have a 10 above it, he would grab her and toss her into her, and be like, wow, now that her series is over, I don't gotta worry no more. But no, because I think, okay, obviously the Silver Eyes are against basically divine magic, right?
Yeah.
Luffy is the sun god. Like, he is a divine entity. So the mythical Zoan, you probably could make a good case that her Silver Eyes would work on mythical Zoan, stuff of that sort. So, I don't know. Also, would that make her more resistant to devil fruits? Since they're also... I don't know, honestly. I feel in my heart I want to say yes, but I'm not gonna lie, the way Miles and Carey write the show, if you were to ask them that, he would probably be really nice and be like, no, they're not. Because, well, you know how, like, honestly, we'll never know until, like, we ask a director or someone like that, or, as I said, Miles and Carey, right? But the thing is, the way directors, a lot of directors are very nice.
Go befriend Miles and Carey.
Yeah, I know. I'll try. But, obviously, like, they would probably not want to piss off people, right? So they wouldn't want to say, oh, of course it would work on Devil, right? It's the same thing as, like, when, who is the author of JJK? Why am I blanking?
Akutami.
Yeah, when Akutami was asked who would win, Kakashi or Gojo, he said Kakashi. And, like, to be fair, I think he's right. But, like, a lot of... depending on the mangaka, he would have said, no, obviously Gojo would win because blah, 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 infinity, right? But, right, so, and with how Miles and Carey are and how, I'm going to be real, they're really big nerds, that's the easiest way to put it, they would probably say, like, no, Silver Eyes don't work, just because they wouldn't want to, like, upset the One Piece crowd or the Naruto community, or, you know, make the Hunter x Hunter fans suffer another tragedy, you know, stuff like that in between hiatuses. Yeah. I don't know. It'd be quite odd to see. Anyway, though, I guess I kind of want to hear what other people think, because, like, bro, I feel like no one talks about that. Like, no one ever mentions the Silver Eyes. The one time the Silver Eyes were mentioned was in the death battle where Rwby had to fight against the moon-level combatant. Like, bro, how do you only bring that up when you're fighting against the moon-level? How do you even do that? How is that fair?
Like, better question is, why did they make her fight the moon-level combatant? Like,
that's also true.
It's because I think it was because Monty wanted it to happen a while
Yeah.
ago. So like fine. We do
Which I'm not gonna lie, that should show Monty loves these characters as much as like anyone else. Because you gotta be kind of crazy in order to be like, you know what? And keep in mind, this was when
My
Monty was
OC
alive.
could be your OC.
Like keep in mind, this was when Monty was alive, so like they didn't even have anything. All they had was like maybe light speed because of Adam, and maybe like city block level. And he's like, you know what? She should go fight. She should go fight the universal character. like
imagine if they had Rwby fight Ichigo for play.
oh my goodness, yeah, it's wild. But yeah,
Actually, speaking of Bleach, would the Silver Eyes like stop Rayatsu from killing them?
I don't know actually, because okay, it would probably work on spiritual or not spiritual pressure, but hollows. I would bet good money that they work on hollows, right?
Yeah, I imagine it would very much be anti-Hollow.
Yeah. Now I don't think it would be anti Soul Reaper though, because aren't they?
No.
Isn't that just the natural energy in your body or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I have not
I
read.
mean, even humans can awaken to powers, just like in Bleach.
Yeah.
So.
What about Quincy? No, because Quincy unless it's Quincy foreign, like it's not like an
No.
yeah.
Both the Soul Reapers and the Quincy's exist at the same time.
Yeah, so it's not like they're
The
necessarily
Hollows are the foreign ones.
yeah, hollows are the foreign entity. So most likely it would only work on hollows, right? So
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Is there any other big one that we're missing?
I don't think so.
I feel like we've covered a lot. Like obviously we covered the big three. We covered how did we miss this? The demons from Demon Slayer.
Yeah, it would very much be anti.
yeah, that would just one shot Muzan. Muzan is not making it out of that.
Not, bro, picture this. Muzan goes to kill some random girl. The girl turns around. It's a Rwby. He immediately gets blasted with his silver eyes. He just dies episode 1.
That'd be hilarious. Or like it'd be Doma. He's like, yes, another young girl to devour. And like Rwby just turns around and goes, what are you talking?
Rwby just turns around and just blasts him.
She turns around, gives him the meanest side eye ever, embraces him while she's giving him the side eye. Man. But yeah. So honestly, yeah. I think it would work on a lot of stuff. Not Pokemon though, because Pokemon Go Burr. Except for maybe Giratina, but I think that one would be funny just for the meme. But yeah, overall, Silver Eyes are quite broken in versus battles, eh? Just yeah. All right.
If only she didn't fight a level up on him.
Literally, the Silver Eyes would have
literally turned off her Silver Eyes.
Oh my goodness. Bro, if she would have fought literally anyone else, the Silver Eyes would have probably came in clutch. And then, oh my goodness. But yeah.
But no, she fights the one person and just turn off that respect.
Yep. Fun. Anyway, that is, we're finally done. That's all for now, folks. I hope you enjoyed our little yap session, and I hope you tell us if you agree, if you disagree, if you have any more interesting ideas, like, hey, maybe they would work on Ganondorf or something of that sort, right? Anywho, that's all for now, folks.
Imagine they'd work on Ganondorf's power, but probably not him directly.
That would be crazy if she just blew up the Triforce or something.